Bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about
comic books, costumes,
Facts.
boots, and other stuff.
In this week's issue, Roscoe Simons. Captain America?
Welcome into episode 8, Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I'm Zach, joined by always with the Green Arrow to my Green Lantern, or vice versa. Whoever wants to be what in this occasion, Mike?
I don't care to be either. I'm good. Thanks.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't like Green Arrow or Green Lantern?
Not a big fan of either one of those. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're Green Lantern because I like Green Arrow more.
I'll take it.
So never mind.
Comes with jewelry.
The
Something
Green
good.
Lantern to my Green Arrow, Mike. Welcome in, Mike.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Today, a bit of a different one in a sense of where it is a comic book character everybody knows, in a sense. And I'll clear this all up because we are focusing on Captain America.
Oh,
But-
I thought you were going to say Howard the Duck.
Well, I mean,
When did we get around to Howard the Duck?
it'll be a while. I was never a fan of Howard the Duck.
I think Howard the Duck was treated very poorly.
Well, he did get to have relations with
Emma
Marty
Thompson?
McFly's mom.
Emma Thompson, right?
Not
Is that her
Emma,
name?
not Emma Thompson. Emma
What's her name?
Thompson was
Emma Jean Church. I don't
sure.
know.
Imogen Heap. But wasn't it Marty McFly's mom?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't
What
think
is
of
her
her name
name?
right now. Here, we'll look
She was
it
in
up.
the all the Brat Pack stuff. Well, she was in whatever that Feel of the Heat or whatever that show's called.
Filthy.
I don't know what it was called.
That sounds like a terrible game show.
Feel of the Heat.
Feel the Heat. No, I thought her name started with an L. It's gonna
Lorraine Brockovich.
Leah Thompson.
Leah Thompson.
That's her name.
Perfect. That's what I thought.
Leah Thompson is in the movie. Tim Robbins is in Howard the Duck. Did you know that?
Yeah.
It's been forever since I've seen it. I don't know.
It's
not
a bad
huge-
movie.
It is.
It's a bad movie.
It's really bad.
But Howard the Duck is a good character. I just think that in the MCU right now, it would be real easy to introduce Howard the
Well,
Duck.
he's already been introduced.
I know. But nobody ever said anything about him, and he's stuck in that box, and
I thought he was out of the box drinking. Either way.
he might be. But,
It was a after credit scene for one of the Guardians movies. I think the
well, he was in
second one, maybe.
He was in the one where the Collector had all those things, and he was in one of those plastic.
that's right. That's the first. That was the first.
He was in
Guardians.
one of those plastic boxes. Yeah.
But he is in a. I guess there's two of them. But yeah,
He's in a
he's
credit
been.
scene. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're talking about Captain America, but not Steve Rogers' Captain America. We're talking about a man by the name of Roscoe Simons as Captain America.
Sure. Everybody's Captain America.
Because a lot of times what happens is through the run of these comics is eventually to try to make new stories or grow the character, they will have other people put on the suit
yeah.
and portray this character. And this is what we got from October of 1974 to March of 1975.
What do you think of that? Where they put other people in the suit?
I think sometimes it works.
Yeah.
They've done it before in Batman that I've read.
Yeah.
Where it'll either be, they have one where Bruce Wayne's dead for some reason. Don't worry, they'll always bring him back.
Right,
And so because he's not around, somebody like Tim Drake takes over as Batman, and that makes sense. Or
I don't know who Tim Drake is.
Tim Drake he was a Robin. So
Oh, okay.
Dick Grayson, Tim Drake, Jason Todd, Damian Wayne, Carrie Kelly. Those are the 5 Robins I know of.
Dude, you're
One of them is a woman,
Just
but it's
saying.
Dark Knight Returns. That's one of my favorites. That's what I
Really?
remember. Yeah. I like Frank Miller before Frank Miller got crazy.
Yeah.
So Sin City is really good.
Oh,
The Dark Knight Returns, and then the other two after that are just
Dark Knight Returns is the one with the smiles, right? Where he puts the stuff in all the chemicals and it makes everybody smile in the city. Joker.
Yeah. That's part of
And then
one
they
of
fight Superman and all that stuff.
Yes.
They hate each other.
Oh, see,
all
that's
that.
my favorite though, because Batman beats Superman.
Yeah, that's where the Batman versus Superman should have been.
Yes. And he beats him in a way that makes sense too, because spoiler alert, granted it came out in 86, so you've had time. But there's a big battle between Batman and Superman in that story. We might just do a show over that.
I would love that.
Yeah, so but either way, there's a big battle between Batman and Superman at the end. And the way it's done to me is the best way you could do a Batman and Superman
It's
battle.
so much
and that's how it
better
should
than
have
the
been.
movie.
Oh,
the
yeah.
movie's so terrible.
It's more than just Martha.
Yeah.
Which
that's it.
I don't know if it's ever in stuff you watch.
Hey, Zach.
Yeah.
You fucked up. Not you.
Uh-oh.
Snyder.
Oh, Snyder. I was like, I did? What did I do? No, he could have.
He just really messed that up.
I mean, I don't know if that's all on him. I can't.
It is.
Either way, the story could have been better there. No, I was going to. I don't know if it ever comes up on your radar, but there's a cartoon called Teen Titans Go that was on Cartoon Network forever, and they brought it back. Yeah. They made a movie not too long ago, and it's absolutely hilarious just for little bits. Like Stan Lee, even though it's all animated, Stan Lee has a cameo in it.
Yeah, cool.
And it's him voicing it, before he passed away. But the joke is,
It'd be weird now.
Yeah, the joke is he's sitting there just like, hey, look at me with, one of my cameos. Yeah. And then somebody leans in and whispers in his ear and he goes, wait, this isn't a Marvel movie, it's DC. And he turns around and sprints off the scene.
Oh, wow, that's
so
cool.
It's funny little jokes like that. But in there they're at the studio and they're watching them make Batman vs. Superman 2. And they do the scene where it's like, what's your mother's name? Martha. So is mine. And Batman and Superman hug. And then Batman leans back and goes, wait, what's your father's name? Mine's Thomas. And he goes, Jonathan. And they go back to punching again. Wow. And so that's Batman vs. Superman 2, which I thought was...
Sounds great.
It's just terrible writing with that. Either way, we kind of got off track. Let's get back to Roscoe Simons, Captain America. And now where we start in this story...
Remember when you used to Simonize your car?
No. What does that mean?
It's some wax that was called Simonize.
Oh,
I don't know. You said Roscoe Simons, and I thought the Simonizing.
Oh, I thought you made it to where nobody named Simon could get into your car. You Simonized it, so nobody got in.
De-Simonized your car. That's when a Simon has made it in.
Oh,
that's right.
You have to. I got it.
You got to de-Simonize.
De-Simonize it. They make sprays for that, right? Because like 99.9% of Simons or something.
Yeah. A little known fact. That's why Simon and Simon went off the air.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The cleaner got one of them?
I don't know, man. It's the stupidest thing ever.
That's what this show turns into, though. Sometimes that's the greatness of it. So let's take a look at where we are in the Captain America story. Basically, Steve Rogers has retired. He is no longer wants to be Captain America. He's kind of become disillusioned with the United States and its politics. The first of many times.
And
usually,
this is set what time frame?
74 to 75. All so we're talking about Vietnam.
Yeah, end of Vietnam, all that stuff. Yeah.
And usually
really wanted to go to the US movement.
Usually whenever he drops and wants to become something else, it seems the storyline is he always becomes disillusioned with the US.
Sure.
So it just happens. This is just this generation's. It's part of the storyline of where he chooses to become nomad. So it's the first time this has happened, which you might be aware of. I guess they kind of teased it in the Avengers movies because he didn't have the Captain America suit for a while. And he was just, but that's where we're at. Just story-wise, is basically Steve Rogers has retired. The news has picked up the story that Captain America has retired, and they're looking for replacements. Enter a guy, a baseball player in town named Bob Russo.
Bob Russo.
Bob Russo announces, you know what? I'm going to be the next Captain America. So, Bob Russo, in his first night at Captain America...
He's currently playing baseball.
He quits baseball to be Captain America.
Okay.
So basically, it's like if I'm trying to think of somebody at same level now, but it's basically if Bryce Harper, Ronald Acuna Jr., I don't know, Ken Griffey, whoever you pick, he's a giant baseball star.
Right.
And he decides to quit to be Captain America. The first night, he comes across bad guys loading stuff into a warehouse.
Okay.
He's on another building and decides to do the superhero swoop in, like grapple. And he misjudges the distance and where to land, and he crashes into a wall and breaks his arm.
Sure.
And he just quits there. He's like, should have practiced that.
Yeah.
So that's all it takes. We're down to Captain America.
Do you think it's the suit that causes these guys to know where the bad guys are doing things? I mean, how do they know? Like, as a baseball player, you probably don't run across guys stealing from a warehouse.
No, probably not. So, I just always thought that, they have those police radios.
Oh, yeah.
That's all they do.
They just got a hand scanner.
Yeah, they're just like, I'm Captain America now. I need to swing by Radio Shack and pick me up a police scanner. It's 74. They can do it back then.
Sure.
Now, I mean, good luck. Maybe download an app. But
there's an app, for your phone, the police scanner.
So that's what he does, is he just listens to the police scanner app.
That makes total sense.
But then you would think in most cases that you'd have to get there before the police and take care of everything.
I'm a big fan of Spider-Man's abilities because of that. He's got the spidey sense and things.
That is true.
It doesn't make any sense.
No.
But it explains away that whole thing.
Exactly.
Superman, super hearing, he knows when shit's going on. Batman, he's got Alfred.
He has, well, we even saw it in the movies, granted, but the amount of technology he has throughout
Right.
Gotham City, like he can pick
Right.
up. Yeah.
He's got tons of technology or whatever. But some of these guys, again, like Captain America, where's he getting his intel? Police scanner. That's
Just Lady Liberty tells him.
okay. Lady Liberty.
Yeah, she tweets him. She's like, "Hey, I've
Dear-
heard rumblings.
Dear Cap.
Dear Cap, these guys are
stealing
going to
up
load
caps.
stuff into a warehouse at 9:00 tonight. Thanks, Lady Liberty." So we're already down one Captain America.
Okay. Because he broke his arm.
Yeah, he broke his arm.
Yeah.
This is all in the same
What
issue.
a wuss.
Oh,
One
then
broken arm.
there's another man named Scar Turpin.
Scar Turpin.
We don't know his first name. Obviously, Scar's a nickname, but he goes by Scar Turpin. And he's this big, just, rough house of a guy.
Okay.
He tries to fight a gang, and he claims that he is the new Captain America, only to realize that there are actually 6 gang members and not 3 that he thought there were.
All right. So he pre-gamed this thing and he said, hey, there's going to be 3 gang members.
Yeah, he looks and he's like, oh, there's 3 of them. I can take them. Then gets there, he's like, oh, wait, there's 6.
So he missed 3 of them.
Yeah, so
Nice.
Poor math skills are the reason that we
Sure.
lose our second Captain America, because he obviously cannot feat them all. He also makes the point that he wished he would have brought his tire iron to fight with him. So Captain America.
Captain
None of them
America,
have the shield,
wielder
by
of
the
a
way.
Tire iron. None of them have the shield.
None of them have the shield. They're just
Why don't they have the
dressing up.
shield?
And here's the thing too. I guess because Cap didn't want to give it to anybody.
What a
But
jerk.
that's what you have to. I've thought of, because it's not mentioned. Is they're just going to Costume City and just finding Captain America outfits to go out and fight crime.
Sure.
It's not like they're getting the costume from Steve. They don't have the shield. They honestly just I'm going to be Captain America. I'm going to go to Walmart, pick up a Captain America suit, and be good.
Yeah.
And that's fine at this time. Nobody's like, oh, they shouldn't
Well,
go
you
fight
think
crime.
about 74, 75, there wasn't even a Walmart at that point.
Sears
really.
Roebuck.
Yeah, it was Sears and Roebuck, and you had to order it out of the catalogs. You had to wait,
So then maybe these guys have been playing in it for a while. You'd have to think, even before he
You
retired.
circle it in the catalog, the big Christmas book, and then you have to hope that Grandma gets you the costume.
I used to do that with the big Toys R Us book.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's out of business too.
I used to do it with National Geographics. I don't know what I was circling, but
I have an idea, but
there's one.
So let us introduce now the man of the episode, Roscoe Simons himself.
Yeah.
He works at the gym that Steve Rogers works out at.
Sure.
Now, Steve is retired, but Steve still wants to stay physically fit, so he goes and he works out.
Yeah.
And Roscoe can't believe how strong and acrobatic that Steve Rogers is, when he works out.
My thing is, if you're Captain America, why don't you have your own gym?
Well, here's the thing, too, is it's brought up. He's like, why do you come here? And he's like, because nobody's ever here. So he
This says a
picks.
lot about your
He
gym.
does picks his gym by the few amount of people who visit it.
Never seen anybody in that one.
So,
The
but
official gym of Captain America.
Roscoe is a massive Captain America fan, and so he constantly talks to Steve
What does
about it.
Roscoe works at the gym? That's his employment.
Roscoe works
That's
at
what
the
he
gym.
does. Okay.
We're going to get in a little bit more about Roscoe and what
Thank
his
God.
background
Sure.
here later, but basically, it says that he's from Brooklyn in the comics later on, but I personally have no clue where he's from, even though that's what they say it is, because the way he talks sounds like a very overdramatic form of a Brooklyn accent mixed with Cajun,
Okay.
hillbilly,
Sure.
and nitwit, because he talks like an idiot.
Okay.
But they also wanted to make you
He's
guess.
a snazzy dresser, though.
Yeah. No, I mean, who doesn't rock green? He rocks the hell out of those green pants.
He's got green pants with a yellow, what looks like a turtleneck, long sleeve turtleneck.
But Roscoe comes up with this idea. Since the other 2 Captain Americas have failed, he knows who can be a real good replacement for Captain America.
Sure.
Mr. Rogers. The guy that he's seen work out at his gym.
Him. Oh, Steve.
Yeah, Roscoe thinks
Oh.
that Steve would be a perfect Captain America.
Gotcha.
So he pulls up his address from the list of gym memberships.
Right.
Well, obviously,
Back then it was handwritten cards.
yes.
Sure.
And there was 5 of them, so it didn't take him long.
Pulls that out.
He looks
says,
at it.
One Captain America way. And he goes, oh,
Well, no, that's the thing.
What a coincidence.
Is Steve Rogers put Falcon's, what's his name? Sam
Falcon.
Sam Wilson.
Sure.
He put Sam's office address, because he works as a social worker, as his address on the gym card.
That seems pretty crappy of Captain America
It was.
to do.
He was like, I don't want mail. Send it to Sam.
Send it to Sam's social work address.
That's what it is. It's like he signed up for something free.
Yeah.
And all the spam he has sent to his partner.
Poor Falcon.
So Captain America is a bit of an ass if you think about it.
Yeah.
He signed up
Number
for
one, he just retired.
Well, yeah.
He's like,
out of
screw
the
this
blue.
country.
And then he's like, I'm sending all my junk mail to Falcon.
Keeping my shield.
Yeah, and sending all my junk mail to Falcon.
And then sending all my junk mail to Falcon.
Yeah. Hey, hope
What
you
a
like
guy.
hope you like that wine country magazine that comes in once a month. So
Cigar aficionado.
So Roscoe shows up, you know, being the giant fanboy that he is, to hunt down Steve to try to convince him to be Captain America.
So he shows up at Falcon's
He
place.
shows up at Falcon's office.
Falcon's nest.
His social work office.
Oh.
And, well, obviously Falcon's arriving about the same time because Sam was out fighting crime. He's going to come here to, I guess, change back and, you know, normal stuff.
Yeah.
So he runs into the kid while he's there.
You know, little known fact, you got to take that suit off one feather at a time. It takes a while.
It does take forever. Thankfully, it's only underneath the arm area.
Sure.
So,
He
when
goes
Falcon,
through so many birds.
Oh, poor birds. It's all chicken feathers. He
It's
calls
all
himself
chicken
Falcons,
feathers,
but he
yeah.
couldn't hunt down Falcons, so he
It's just chicken feathers.
bought chicken feathers in bulk.
What is up with his leg in that picture? Look at his legs. In that
Roscoe?
Falcon in that first one. One leg looks like it's supported by a wine glass.
And the other one's thick.
And the
Yeah,
other one's thick and weird.
I don't know. He had
He
maybe
has like no butt. Like the middle of his legs just go up and stop at his midriff.
maybe it was a birth defect. I don't know.
That is weird. It's a bird defect.
It is. It's not drawn. It's a weird kind of drawn
It's a weird
angle
little
from
panel.
Falcon's behind. But
Yeah.
so Roscoe runs into Falcon here, and he tells him, "Hey, I'm looking for Steve Rogers.
Right.
I think he could be the next Captain America."
Sure.
Falcon thinks it's hilarious because obviously he knows
He
Steve.
knows, sure,
And he knows that, you know, Steve retired as Captain America. But Roscoe then claims that if he doesn't think so, then he's just going to be Captain America instead.
Oh.
And it leads us to our first exchange. And Mike, I think for these, because there's two of them, that we will do a little podcast theater.
Okay.
I would like you to play Roscoe, and
Okay.
I'll play Falcon.
You got it.
Okay. So
First one, it's just him confronting Falcon on a purple floor.
yes.
And he says something like, "Oh, yeah, I know. He's quit, but that's just the point. You know, all these guys that have been trying to become the new CA." Does he just say CA?
Yeah, CA. Instead of Cap, it was CA.
Well, I'm going to do it. That's where Mr. Rogers comes in. He's the best gymnast I ever seen. So if I can get him to be my trainer.
And then Falcon with words of advice.
Look
What?
at that pose, too. It's like, don't smoke, Jimmy.
He's very much like he's schooling him on something with this open. Like Falcon's just showing off how strong he is.
Yeah.
And it's one of those like, don't do drugs, kids,
Yeah.
kind of hand on his shoulder. But he says, what? You want Steve to train you to be Captain America? That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Why don't you go home, kid? It's getting late. And if you're going to dream, you might as well be in bed.
All right. Next panel with the purple stairs.
Is Roscoe storming down the stairs to get away from
Yeah,
Falcon.
he's very angry.
And he yells,
Yeah, and why don't you go suck a peach, bird brain? We'll see who's dreaming.
so
That's wonderful.
he gets so uptight that he
Suck
tells
a peach.
Falcon to suck a peach.
Falcon.
In Captain America as they fight together. But no. So yeah, he and Falcon thinks it's ridiculous. And so he just chooses that I'm going to do it anyway.
Why is this guy so stupid?
I don't know. I need to throw this in though, Mike, that Roscoe is a high school dropout
Oh,
and a mechanic, we find out.
okay.
But he's working at a gym.
Okay.
I only do that not to necessarily put down what he's doing, but to show that he has zero fighting experience whatsoever in his background.
Right.
But he still decides to dress up and go fight crime with Falcon.
No. I like
So-
how nobody stops him.
He also somehow becomes harder to understand the more issues he's in.
Okay.
Like he starts calling Falcon Boyd Brain, B-O-I-D.
Boyd brain.
He also quotes the Beach Boys 10 years after the fact for some reason. So we're in 1974 and Falcon tells him like, well, show me what you got. And he says, well, as Brian Wilson saying way back in 1964, Boyd Brain, I'm a real cool head. Watch me.
Wow.
Do you know that Beach Boy song?
No, I don't.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I don't. That doesn't really spring.
It doesn't, but it just reminds me, Mike, like LMFAO saying way back in 2011, wiggle, 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 wiggle. Yeah.
Sure.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Sure.
Yeah.
Keep wiggling.
I feel like it's just as poignant as what he's bringing up here. I don't know.
I love
So
the
he's
lady
10 years
lumps.
behind
Sure.
in his
Wow, he's good.
yeah, no.
This is I don't know who wrote this. I mean, I guess you.
Oh,
dove
I'm
into
sorry.
that, but
I actually don't think we brought it up. So now is a great point for me to, because we have a bit of a tie-in too. Roscoe Simons was created by Steve Englehart and Sal Buscema.
yeah.
Buscema.
And Englehart did a lot of Captain America stuff, right?
He did.
Yeah.
He also wrote issues number 1 and 2 of a little comic called The New Guardians,
Ah, fantastic.
which means he wrote the AIDS vampire and
cane-
Snowflame, the cocaine guy.
Yeah, cocaine monster.
So
That's great.
Steve Englehart has now connected.
I think Steve's watching a lot of Dragnet.
Maybe.
You know, that kind of stuff. He goes home at night, watches Dragnet reruns.
So, but
He's a boy brain.
he's also
stuff
blessed
like
us.
Hopped up on goofballs.
But before that, he brought us Roscoe Simons before he brought us the greatness that was the Hemogoblin and Snowflame.
Hemogo.
Man. All right. And then there's this. This is our last podcast theater piece, but it just goes to explain, Mike, how I told you that he was getting harder and harder to understand each time.
Yeah.
So,
Falcon comes busting through the wall,
yes. And he says,
and he's punching a guy, and it says Bach.
yep, and Pow, and it's these red hooded guys that are basically they come across, they thwart a bank robbery,
Right.
and so,
And so Roscoe says, "See, I've been thinking about why Bob Russo and Scar Toppin blew it as Captain America's. See, they both thought they was big guys, so they deserved a big job, a job worthy of them. But me, I figure I'm just a noisy punk who's trying to be worthy of the job.
you just read that, Mike. What is he saying?
He's worthy of the job.
Like it's 3 bubbles, and I had to reread it multiple times to get it out.
All
Like
right,
the
let's
way
see.
he speaks. So
See, I've been thinking about why Bob Russo and Scar, what do you say, Toppin,
yeah,
blew it as Captain America's. This is me reading it back in English. See, they both thought they were big guys, so they deserved a big job. A job worthy of them. But me, I figure I'm just a nervy punk who's trying to be worthy of the job.
there you go.
Yeah.
That's what it says.
Even when you
That's
say it in
not
English,
what
it doesn't
looks-
make any sense.
It doesn't really make
No.
sense.
I'm a noivy punk.
Falcon tells him, "Hey kid, don't talk so much," to which he quips back,
Gee, Falco, I thought that was part of the job. Jesus.
but then Falcon says, "Got him, Cap." He calls him Cap.
Yeah.
And maybe I got a boy wonder on my hands as well.
Well, people have been arrested for less.
Yeah, that's true. So Falcon now, after they fought together, thinks, hey, this Roscoe kid could be.
I wouldn't even want to hang around him because you have to listen to him.
Yes.
Hey, boy brain.
No. Falcon's not annoyed by this at all. He's like, hey, I found my Robin.
Falcon's an
his
idiot,
boy
too.
wonder. I found the next Captain America.
Yeah.
Well, while they're in the process of thwarting this bank robbery, they're both hit in the back with a stun ray, which, by the way, we haven't seen stun rays in forever. I feel like stun rays need
They
to
should
be
make a
brought
big
back.
comeback, yeah.
Yeah, I miss those. That happened a lot as a kid. You always had to worry about stun rays. That and quicksand, and neither have come up to be a
I've
problem
not
at
seen
all.
hardly any quicksand lately.
No, I don't get what's up with that. But
Did we solve the quicksand problem?
I guess
Yay.
we just
global
slowed
warming.
it down. Yeah, that's all.
Global warming.
We just yelled at it. It was like, hey,
Hey, quit that.
quit being so fast.
Being so quick. You sand.
Yeah.
You Boyd brain sand. Who shot the stun ray?
Red Skull,
Love me
which
some
is a
Red Skull.
classic
Yeah,
villain.
I love some Red Skull.
I do love some Red Skull, and we've talked about it before, but I think it's a shame how they didn't include him more in the Marvel movies.
Yeah. I thought that was a real pity
Yeah.
because Red Skull only gets used twice, and it's not even like to his capacity.
No, like in the first one, in the original Captain America,
Yeah.
they do a decent job, but you would think that they could have brought him back for others. But yeah, he's just there, watching over the Soul Stone, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But they are shot by Red Skull.
It's a
who
good
is,
gig, though, if you can get it.
well, there's nobody around, though.
You don't know. Maybe he's got a little TV.
Yeah, maybe. So
A bucket to pee in.
it's just one of those. It was the dial that had the UHF dial.
He
And
gets
yeah,
3 channels.
exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe if he's lucky, WCW comes on Saturday out on TBS. So Red Skull mentions that.
Do you think of the 3 channels he gets, one of them's going to be TBS?
Yeah, I got it out in Riesel as a little kid.
Yeah, but didn't you have cable?
No,
You had to have cable to get
I got it on the
TBS.
dial, dude. I'm telling you, I watched.
Some dude in Riesel was rebroadcasting cable stations.
That might have happened, but I picked it up on my little knob TV
Wow.
because I was able to watch Saturday Night Slam or whatever they called it, and it was WCW back in the.
Saturday Night Slam.
We're talking like early '90s where it had the ring that would rotate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
So
That's good stuff.
Red Skull makes a point where he's like, now I've caught my 2 biggest nemesis
Red
in
Skull
one
would
place.
have made a good wrestler.
Red Skull would have made it.
Yeah, it'd be good.
No, instead they did a
you
guy
go-
named Manitar who has like a bull head.
Did you say Manitard?
Manitar.
Oh,
he
I'm
was
sorry.
he was a maniturd, but yeah, Mantar. It's bad.
Mantar.
So Red Skull mentions that he's caught both of his nemesis.
Yeah.
And he's now able to take them out in one fell swoop.
Because Red Skull, I'm assuming, thinks this is Captain America.
he does.
Yeah.
Well, let's flash forward to the next episode the next issue,
Uh-huh.
where Steve, who is now out parading as Nomad,
Okay.
is intercepted by Falcon's bird, who
Jeffrey.
somehow, Jeffrey, sure. And Falcon's bird, Jeffrey, somehow tells Cap through, I guess, telekinesis or whatever, that Falcon's in danger.
Sure.
And so he follows the bird.
Well, there you go. That's how Falcon sees about the crimes.
Yeah.
The bird
The
tells
bird goes. And he can apparently speak, without talking
Bird.
to the bird.
him.
Captain America comes up to a scene of where we find Roscoe hung upside down dead.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Roscoe was killed by Red Skull.
I'm dead, you see.
Yeah. And over to the side,
I'm a dead boy.
beat up, is the Falcon.
Oh, no.
But just beat
So
up.
he didn't kill the Falcon.
No, which is one point I don't get if you're Red Skull when you're like, my 2 nemesises.
Yeah, just go ahead and take care
Yeah,
of him.
well, Falcon says that he didn't want to waste his plan on a fake Captain America because, this is such a great plan I have. I don't want to waste it
I gotta
on
wait till
somebody
I
who's
get
not.
the 2 real ones in the room.
I would still, if
Yeah.
I'm Red Skull, I still take care of Falcon.
Yeah, sure,
then.
sure.
But that's not how it works here. So this is what spurs Cap to become Captain America again, to go battle Red Skull.
That's so
is
nice
the
of him.
death of our hard to understand friend Roscoe Simons.
Dipshit Simons. Nice. Great.
So
What a terrible character that is.
it's written so
Yeah,
poorly.
it's just bad. Well, thanks, comics.
Yeah.
You did it again.
So that is Roscoe Simons right there. He was Captain America, along with 3 other Captain Americas we get in this 6-issue span.
Yeah.
But I think I read there had only been and then there's like 15 people who have put on the Captain America suit over time. But some of those are like Falcon filling in, and the what ifs where they have like Peggy Carter,
Sure,
stuff like
sure.
that. So
the
taking all those out, like Roscoe, aside from Steve, is probably like that's like the moniker for a decent amount of time.
Yeah.
Granted, it's 3 issues, but it's
So I
somebody
feel like
else.
people don't know all this. Like my wife, she could care less. She loves Marvel movies, but she could care less that somebody else was Captain America at some point.
and I feel like a lot of people are that way.
Yeah.
But at least when we do it in this short form story, is then you don't have to read it all.
Yeah.
And you get to
I
realize
appreciate you
how
taking that bullet.
ridiculous
Yeah.
this guy as a character is.
Yeah, that guy sucks.
No.
He's not fun.
He's not. But don't worry. Next week, I realized that we've been on a run of heroes.
Yeah.
So I have another villain for us.
Oh, thank God.
Kind of in lieu of Humphrey Dumpler, where I think it's a guy that they could do cool things
He's
with.
a rough dude.
He is a rough dude.
Okay.
They kind of changed it. But so that's what you can look through with next week's episode. Before we go real quick, Mike, I just have a question to ask you.
Sure.
If you're excited about, since it comes out on Friday,
I'm going to say yes before you say it.
Suicide Squad movie.
Oh, I'm quadruply excited.
Yes. And I saw that like the reviews.
Yeah,
what do
they're
they call it?
good.
The embargo?
They're good reviews.
Really good reviews.
Yeah.
Somebody called it easily the best DC movie in years, which it doesn't take much, but
exactly. Yeah, you listening, Zack Snyder?
just follow what James Gunn did.
It's James Gunn. It's just him. Yeah.
He knows how to make good superhero
Hell
movies.
yeah, he does.
Because both of the Guardians are good. And
I would pay for Zack Snyder to go to his class.
I'm going to look up and see if there's a
James Gunn
masterclass.
All right, where do they find us, Zach?
You can find us at Instagram, brofo.hero. There, also feel free to email us, bros, foes, and heroes @gmail.com. We appreciate you listening as always. And don't forget, we got a villain next week, and I think it'll be a fun one. So you want to make sure and tune in for that. It's good DC. So there you go. Well, part of it. But you can get excited for good DC, just like Suicide Squad this Friday when you go watch it.
I can't wait for that.
I'm stoked for it. But that does it for episode 8. For Mike, I'm Zach.
Yep.
And we hope that you stay safe and have a good one.
All right. Thanks, Zach, as always, for all your research.
Well, thank you, sir.
Got it, gun! Bros and foes and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and foes and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.